Hi, welcome back to my channel, Open the Door. So I'm a couple weeks behind. I've got a lot of episodes lined up to share with you, beginning with episode 7 tonight, entitled The Key to Your Higher Self is Your Intuition. So you've probably heard people refer to higher selves and wondering, what are they talking about? Isn't my higher self my intuition? Actually, they're connected, but they're not exactly the same. So I'm going to be talking about that in this episode. What your higher self is, how it is connected to your intuition. I'm also going to discuss what happens when we ignore our intuition and how to tap into your intuition and use it to your benefit. So, starting with intuition, what is it? Well, whenever you're in a circumstance, whether you're trying to make a decision or just in a social situation, and doubt begins to arise over maybe someone's behavior or something they've said or done, the doubt is the messenger of your intuition. The doubt is what arises when your intuition is trying to speak to you. And I think you've probably heard intuition referred to as your gut feeling, your inner knowing, your inner compass, which is exactly what it is. So our higher self communicates to us through our intuition. And the more we learn how to tap into that intuition, then we're able to develop a closer relationship with our higher self and use that to our advantage. So listening to our intuition fosters our connection to our higher self and brings us closer to our life's purpose, which our higher self knows what that is and is trying to get our attention to get us to move in that direction. So our intuition helps us make quick decisions and judgments without explicit reasoning. And the reason for that is because the intuition is sort of a level of higher knowing based on past experiences. So it draws from emotions and patterns and deeper subconscious understanding, and then tries to guide us here in the 3D reality, in the current situation that we're trying to maneuver at the moment. Let's see. Well, the opposite of intuition is denial, which is a defense mechanism that we use to protect ourselves from distressing emotions or the possibility of distressing circumstances. So I think for most people, our first reflex is to sort of go into denial, but if your intuition is trying to tell you something, and especially if it's, let's say, dealing with another person, and you see them on a regular basis, and there's this gnawing feeling in the gut of your stomach that something isn't right. So there's that deeper level of knowing that's trying to kind of tap you on the shoulder and get your attention and say, pay closer attention. Focus on why are you having these doubts? What is causing you to feel and think this way? So it does take a step in our direction when our intuition gets our attention to then look at something closer and maybe from a higher perspective to give us a more realistic view of what's really going on there. So tips for tapping into your intuition and how to sort of get in that state where you're used to listening to that inner voice, that inner knowing. Well, when you're faced with decisions and logic doesn't seem to provide a clear answer, you might even make a list of positives and negatives about situations or people, and you just can't seem to land on an answer. Follow your gut, follow your intuition. It already knows the right answer. So that's where the truth lies, is in your intuition. Practice mindfulness to enhance self-awareness and tap into your intuition. And you might notice a theme in my videos, if you've been following along, that a lot of these concepts cross over each other, which is great, because the more you're learning about these different things like mindfulness, like being present in the moment, you're able to use it across the board. It becomes a part of your way of being. You don't have to think, okay, right now I'm going to try to use mindfulness. You'll just eventually, it'll become a natural way of being. Anyway, back to intuition. So embracing the quiet moments and practicing the mindfulness can draw your intuition to the surface. But you do need quiet, and you do need a break from outside stimuli in order to be able to really sense and feel what it is your intuition is trying to tell you, and then being brave enough to follow through on whatever that truth is that you know within you. So learn to listen through to your inner voice, through the silence and through the meditation and through the mindfulness, and it will get stronger, and you will find that it's something that you can easily tap into over time. Trusting and tuning in to that guidance and seeing the results of the decisions that you make based on your intuition is going to reinforce and strengthen your ability and your desire to want to use your intuition. And as you're using it more and more, you're actually developing that aspect of your being that we call the higher self, which is what I'm going to talk about right now. So our higher self represents the best version of ourselves. It's where the deepest wisdom resides. It's where the truth and our knowing reside, which, yes, I just referred to that in the intuition description as well. But this takes us a step or two beyond just the knowing. So the characteristics of our higher self include these things: wisdom, an insight beyond everyday understanding, and this is a skill, I guess, an acquired skill that you will have over time as you start to apply these lessons and techniques that I've been talking about. Everything from self-care, to letting go of control. All these things will bring about lessons, and from those lessons comes the wisdom. So, insight beyond everyday understanding. Unconditional love is a very strong characteristic of our higher self. And it encourages us. It fosters compassion and empathy for ourselves and for others. And that is the source of unconditional love, is our higher self, which, by the way, I consider our connection to God, to Source, to Spirit, whatever word resonates for you. But that's what I consider our higher self, is a direct connection to Source. So another characteristic of our higher self would be clarity and being able to see beyond immediate challenges and pulling back, looking at the bigger picture and understanding our role in not just our life's purpose, but in how we're affecting the lives of those around us. So that the higher self can bring about clarity by kind of guiding and nudging us in the right direction, or away through the use of intuition, or away from certain circumstances that are not for our greatest and highest good and going to bring us about to our life's purpose. Another characteristic of the higher self would be the connection to spirituality, which I just mentioned about. I see it as the closest link we have to God. And if God is all-knowing and ever-present, then in my mind it just seems logical that that would be the place I go to really get connected to God and to Source. So the guidance, once we get that connection, we're going to start to receive guidance, and again, through the intuition, guided to us by our higher self, helps us make choices that are aligned with our true nature and our higher purpose. Transcendence, which is a spiritual evolution through bypassing ego-driven desires. The ego. That's a big one. And the ego self stands in the way of a lot of people's forward movement in a healing journey, because the ego is a lot of times based in fear, and that can manifest in ways such as anger, jealousy, negative thoughts and emotions and behavior. So what happens when we tap into our intuition, thus tapping into the higher self, and we gain this level of transcendence, we're able to rise above and beyond the ego for the greatest and highest good of not just ourselves, but everyone in the world. So it's a wonderful tool to use to help gain perspective and let go of a lot of things. Peace and serenity come also with the higher self and the connection and the characteristics of of what the higher self is and can do for us. So peace and serenity, even amidst challenges. And another characteristic of our higher self is a sense of oneness and connectedness to everything in the universe. A sense of unity, a sense of knowing that, from my perspective, my knowing is that everything is energy and energy vibrates. And the levels of frequency that we emit do affect not just ourselves, but the world around us. So by trying to remain in a more state of unconditional love, peace, and serenity, staying connected to spirit, accepting and following the guidance, we're able to put a lot of positive vibes out into the world. And it benefits everybody, not just us. So moving on, what happens when we ignore and don't use our intuition? What are the results of that? Well, missed opportunities for one thing. And I think we've all, it could be a very small example, but I think we've all had experiences where we kind of felt a gut feeling like we should follow a certain path, go to a particular meeting, read a certain book, meet up with some friends. It could be anything at all. And we didn't follow our intuition and come to find out later that there was something pretty significant that could have impacted our lives in a positive way that we completely missed out on. Another thing that happens when we ignore our intuition would be our disconnection from our higher self. So we're losing all the benefits of being connected to our higher self. You know, the guidance, the unconditional love, the transcendence, the knowing. By ignoring intuition, we increase our stress and cause inner conflict and feelings of unease and dissatisfaction. And then we're asking ourselves why. You know, why am I feeling this way? And it's just because you're ignoring, could be, because you're ignoring that inner knowing. When you get that stress and you see a missed opportunity, then the regret will kick in. And you'll realize that some of your decisions are not aligning with your values or your true purpose. So you don't just beat yourself up when we make these wrong turns. Use it as a lesson and use it to help steer yourself in the right direction the next time. Strained relationships can be a big side effect of ignoring our intuition. Our gut feeling telling us this relationship may not be for our greatest and highest good, but we've got commitments and that's a tough one. Your inner self, your higher self does know the truth. So are you brave enough? Are you strong enough? Are you ready to take the stand for what you know is for your greatest good? And it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. This can apply to friendships, work relationships, all forms of relationships. So a lack of personal growth is another side effect of ignoring our intuition and not stepping onto our path purposely, for some, purposefully turning our back on what our inner knowing is telling us. Maybe out of ego, stubbornness. It could be any variety of reasons, and the reasons are, of course, individual to each one of us. So this is the information I have about your intuition and higher self, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the camera, and when I start it back up, there's going to be a brief, kind of mini sound bath to sort of help you get in a meditative state and hopefully tap into your higher self and your intuition a little bit. So don't go away. I'll be right back. Hi, I'm back. Okay, so if you are not already in a quiet space and comfortable, then take a minute or two and get yourself in a quiet space and get comfortable. Turn off any outside noises, TV, radios. And I'll talk you through some breath work and help you get relaxed. We'll set an intention, and then we'll do a little connection here, meditation to our intuition and thus our higher self. So settle in wherever you're sitting or laying down. Put your head back. Close your eyes. Focus on your breath as you take a deep breath in through the nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale out the mouth, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale out the mouth, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Inhale, 5, 4. Inhaling through the nose, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling out the mouth, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just resume your normal breathing pattern. And let's scan the body for any tension, starting at the top of the head, across the forehead and between the eyebrows, at the temples. Relax your jaw, relax your neck. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, just tell yourself, let go and relax. Feeling that relaxed sensation starting to settle in now across the chest and upper back, spreading across the shoulders and down both arms, all the way to the fingertips, relaxing, letting go. Nice deep breaths as you continue to scan further down the torso, the abdomen, mid and lower back. Relax. Through the hips, the pelvis, the buttocks. Relax and let go. Down the legs, front and back, past the knees, the calves, all the way to the tips of your toes. Relaxing. Just taking a few minutes for this sound bath. Practicing self-care. Taking a loving few moments for yourself to nourish your soul and your spirit. Go ahead and set an intention now. You can say it quietly out loud or just mentally to yourself for this brief sound bath. Our intention is to be fully present, to not attach to any thoughts or feelings that come up in the next few moments, and just allow everything to flow freely, sensing and feeling that unconditional love that I'm sending you. And of course the intention of being able to use our intuition more effectively, more productively, and ultimately developing our relationship with our higher self for our greatest and highest good. Visualize a beautiful white light right above your head. And that white light is kind of like a shower of love. And you see in your mind's eye this white light is just pouring down over you, completely covering you in pure, white, unconditional love. Watch as it flows across your front and back, over your shoulders, down your body. Flowing down now, all the way down your legs, till you're completely surrounded in this cocoon of beautiful, white, pure, unconditional love. Nestle in. Feel the comfort and security that it brings. Take a deep breath in through your nose and feel that blanket of warmth and love surrounding you, holding you close, letting you know that you're in a safe space. We're going to tap into our heart chakra. With the source of unconditional love, our higher self is residing there within our heart space. So focus your attention on your heart chakra. See it as a swirling vortex of energy. And it's colored in beautiful green and pink light. Sorry, too loud. As you watch that swirling vortex of energy, the center opens. And all you see inside of that chakra is more of that beautiful, pure, white, loving light. Now connect to that heart chakra and ask that light for guidance. Ask that light to speak clearly and directly when needed for your greatest and highest good. And ask for the ability to let go of fear, denial, ego, in order to utilize your intuition and what it's trying to tell you. Keeping your mind's eye focused on your heart chakra, watching it, swirling it with green and pink light. The center is opened and all you see is white, pure, unconditional love. Deep breath. Now be still and just listen. Send gratitude to your heart space. Send gratitude to your higher self. Now in your mind's eye, seeing that heart space, begin to close the center of the heart chakra. This doesn't seal off any of the effectiveness. You just don't want to leave it wide open. Guard our heart, for all we do comes from it. I like putting these short sound baths in the videos. You can always go back and just listen to just that part if that's what you're here for. I know there's some who would rather not stick around for the sound bath, and that's okay too. I'm going to tell you a mantra to say, and then I'll say it 3 times in a row, and you can repeat it with me. The mantra is going to be, I am open to my intuition and connecting with my higher self. That's it. I am open to my intuition and connecting to my higher self. I'm open to my intuition and connecting to my higher self. You might want to write that down and just stick it on the fridge or bathroom mirror. As a reminder, use your intuition. I want to thank you for joining me. I've got a new video I'll be putting out here shortly, but in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this one. And I'll see you again soon. Take care.